Oh, that's cool. Hi, I'm Tara. I'm an alcoholic. So usually I've shared my story a lot, and usually before I will do the same thing, and I'll meet a bunch of women and we'll pray in the corner, and then I'll come out. And I wasn't able to do that because the food was so delicious, and so I spent the last couple seconds shoving cake in my mouth. So hopefully I don't have cake in my teeth. So if everybody would just bear with me real quick, I would really like to do the Serenity Prayer just to kind of get centered. And please pray with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. So, hi, I'm Tara. I'm an alcoholic. I am super nervous. Wow. When I heard that Jim Ramstad was being honored with the George Mann Award, I think it was really late. It was about 11:30 at night, and I was scrolling online, and I'd happened to see that. I knew immediately that I had to come and share my story, and so I kind of thought about it for a couple days, and off and on, I wrote an email, and I wrote it to John Curtis, and, I said, John, I don't know if you know this, but my story really has a lot to do with Jim Ramstad, and it has a lot to do with the scholarship fund, and so there is no way that you can turn me down. I will get up on this stage, and I will Kanye West somebody if I have to, because it means so much to me, and so thankfully I didn't have to do that. So I am an alcoholic, and I came into relationship with the retreat on July 31st, 2009. That's my sobriety date. Whew, right? I have been trying to get sober since I was about 17. I knew I was an alcoholic really, really early. I grew up on a reservation up north Minnesota, and so both my parents are active alcoholics. Their parents are alcoholics. Their parents were alcoholics, and so, it was really, really normal to see drinking in the house, and so by the time I reached 14, it was just, a matter of detail at that point. So my life became a series of chaos, consequence, treatment, chaos, consequence, treatment. I spent a majority of my adult life in and out of jails and institutions. I just could never seem to get it. I never felt like I deserved it. I never felt like I felt like there was something wrong with me. And so, 2009 happens. I'm a crier, so please bear with me. I don't know what it is. One day I'll be able to not cry. I'm just kidding. So in 2009, my life got really, really unmanageable. And I had burned every bridge in my entire world. Even my own family, who were active alcoholics, were like, we don't know what to do with you. I mean, you are like beyond even our level of alcoholism. I could not stay sober for more than 30 minutes at a time. And if I was sober, I was obsessed. I was thinking about drinking. I was planning drinking. And I was angry because I wasn't drinking. And so it was just really gross. It was just, everybody that has suffered from alcoholism or drug addiction knows exactly what I'm talking about. The details may look a little bit different, but it's just so loud in there. It's just so loud and so dark, and I was so used to it. I mean, it was really actually quite comforting, the chaos. So I knew this person, and this is one of the last people that I hadn't pissed off. And he went to his father, who happened to be an attorney, and he said, I know this woman, and she's dying of alcoholism. She's yellow as sunshine, and she's gonna die, and we need to help her. Well, so this guy, his name is Jeff Lambert. So he's an attorney, kind of a big deal to me. So he called up this other guy. And I don't know these people, right? These are all like complete strangers to me. And this is the miracle of recovery. So this stranger, Jeff Lambert, he called up another guy whose name was Jim Ramstad, right? And obviously at the time, Jim and I did not run in the same circles. So I did not have his cell phone on. I did not have his number. And so But again, he's a stranger, right? And so Jeff is telling Mr. Ramstead about this woman who's dying of alcoholism and how he needs to help. So this is really powerful for me. So there is a stranger that is praying for me. Like, how does that happen? And so Mr. Ramstead thought about me all night long. Me, a stranger. He didn't even know who I was. And so he made a phone call to somebody who I also did not know at the time. We did not run in the same circles, and his name happened to be John Curtis. And Mr. Ramstead said to John, he said, you know, we need to help this woman. I didn't sleep all night thinking about her. Imagine that, somebody praying for a stranger, right? So the miracle of recovery is that I am a direct reflection of the Retreat Scholarship Fund. I had no money, I had no insurance, I had no hope, I had no people, and I didn't know what I was going to do at that point. I didn't even know if I wanted to be sober, honestly. I didn't even know if I could do it, but I know that I just wanted it to be quiet for a little bit. So the miracle of recovery was I entered the retreat August 5th, 2009, and I had a miraculous surrender, is what Andrea Brunner says. Whatever they told me to do, I did. I legitimately surrendered my life over to the retreat, and I knew that whatever they asked me to do, I would do, simply because I just didn't want to drink for 5 minutes. Just for 5 minutes, I didn't want to drink. So fast forward, I take their direction. I go to sober living for 18 months. I do every single thing that they asked me to do, and I never once thought about it. I honestly became just this recovery robot. I didn't know what it felt like to be in recovery. I didn't know what emotions felt like. I didn't know how to be. And so I just did what they told me to do, and I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I just knew that I wasn't drinking, and that when I went to bed at night, I wasn't having anxiety attacks, and when I woke up in the morning, I wasn't full of shame, and that was good enough for me. And so, you know, the thing that saved me the most, and why I was so passionate about coming up here, not just because of Jim Ramstead, because of the fact that there was a stranger, this big, huge, fantastic politician, you know, that I probably should have a poster of on my wall as well, because he's a huge inspiration to me. But there were so many times at that sober house that I wanted to drink so bad, so many times that I wanted to give up. And the only thing that saved me it wasn't AA, it wasn't God, it wasn't people around me. It was thinking about all those people that had donated to the scholarship fund. That's what saved me. Because I couldn't imagine all these people that had given of themselves so freely to strangers. Like, I couldn't imagine failing you. And so I would stay sober. I would stay sober if that was another 5 minutes at a time, I would stay sober. So I came up here tonight to thank Mr. Ramstead for all that he's done for me, and to thank every single person that's ever given a dime to the scholarship fund. I don't know if you know this, but honestly, every single day that I wake up, I think about you. I think about you when I go to a meeting and I'm of service. I'll think about you tomorrow morning when I'm running my first marathon. And so I'll never stop advocating for the scholarship fund. I'll never stop really being completely grateful, because it saved my life, because it was so necessary and it was so needed. I don't know if I would be standing up here, honestly, without that gift of recovery. So thank you to the retreat. Thank you to Mr. Ramstead. Thank you for being my angel. Thank you to my family. And thank you.